Thanks, Jeff. I thought it was a great weekend for us and Ron Guidry. I was really glad for him and his family to be able to come out both those days and see all the fans that came out. Over 4,000 people on Friday and Saturday came out to see him and his family. And then have him watch the jerseys get auctioned off. And, we did over $25,000 in 2 days with the jerseys. And, that's huge for our baseball program. And not only just for the baseball program, but huge for Ron to see, his numbers still be wanted. And after all these years, and so many of the fans got to take pictures with him. And he was so gracious and being able to give us all day Friday, or Friday night, actually all day Friday and Friday night, all day Saturday, and Saturday night, being able to take pictures with people and autograph for people. And it was just a great 2 days for him. And then, again, as Coach said, Mother's Day on Sunday with all our moms getting to throw out the first pitch. It's always been special for us. I saw that about 8 to 10 years ago at a minor league baseball game and brought the idea back here. And we've been doing it now for, I don't know, Jay would know, 9 years. So we've been doing it for 9 years now, having the moms come out and throw out the first pitch. So I thought that was really good. Our guys did a good job of handling all the fanfare. In fact, the only night we didn't do anything, we lost. We should have honored somebody on Saturday, found somebody to honor on Saturday. But the guys did a good job handling all that. Friday, played a good game Friday. Gunner really threw a good ball game for us, and our hitters swung the bat well. Saturday, we went cold at the plate, but still was in a winnable game. Wyatt threw good again, just got victimized. Without an error, a pass ball actually gives up 1 run through 6. He gave up 2, but he really shouldn't have given up 1. The first one, that was a give me, but he threw well enough for us to win. We just didn't score. And then we let the game, they had one big inning in the 7th, and that inning was big enough to do us in, and it did. But it was a winnable game for us. Our pitching staff needed to stand tall right there and get it done. Whether you're hitting or not should play no bearing on our pitching staff. We've been there all year. We're not a big scoring team, so we got to learn how to handle that 7th inning, keep the game at 2-1. And then I really think it would put a lot more pressure on them. If we'd had to score 2-1, we gave them some wiggle room by letting them, we didn't pitch against a 3-run inning is what it really came down to. And then Sunday, I thought we did a good job of coming back. Even though our hitters didn't swing the bat well, we did what we were supposed to do as a pitching staff, and that's, hold our opponent down. Nick Lee came out and threw a great game for us. And then from there, we were able to get the bases back again at second and third for us to be able to squeeze a run in. When we did that, it kind of spun the game a little bit out of control on them in that inning. And again, they didn't pitch against the 3-run inning, and that's what allowed us to win. Demo came in and threw a good 2 innings for us. So again, now we got to move on. They'll be off today. We'll work out tomorrow. We'll leave Wednesday and go down to Houston and play and come back. Guillory will start that one, and we'll probably throw our bullpen behind it. And then come back here Wednesday night, get back. We moved the game up to 5, being we had no school, to get back at a better hour so we can get our turnaround time and get on the road Thursday for South Al. So that'll be a good weekend for us. It's at their place, so it's not going to be easy. But, as the season wore on, we got better playing on the road. The big key with them is they pitch like we do. The big difference maker, I think, with them is their on-base percentage. They work counts real good. They get on base. They lead the conference in on-base percentage, lead the conference in walks. We're last in the conference in walks. So they work counts, they get on base, and they're fast. They've got a lot of stolen base attempts. So we're going to have to hold the running game down. We lead the conference in less amount of walks given up than any other pitching staff in the conference. I think we're in the top 10 maybe in the country and least amount of walks. So that's going to come back for us. We're going to have to do that. We're not going to be able to walk them. They're about 5th and 6th with us in hitting. They don't hit a lot of home runs and not a big slug and percentage hitting team. What they do really good is they work counts, they get on base, they work to run, and they work to try to get in second and third a lot. And then the sac fly comes into play for them now. When they do get a hit, they score runs because they're in scoring position. So the key for us, to me, is we're going to have to hold the walks down and work to keep the runners down from running, and don't let them kind of speed the game up. They can do that a little bit when they get on the bases. They'll have their crowd, so we'll have to deal with that too. But again, you can't be a champion by sitting at home playing all the time. You got to learn how to be good on the road. So any questions you might have, we'll open up the floor for them.
What does Kevin Hill do so well?
He's just a good, powerful arm. I mean, he's a good, thick-bodied guy. He pitches above his age. He does what good pitchers do. He's not going to run from you. He believes he can, and he can dominate you. So he's a very, very good arm, very good pitcher. And like I said, he looks older than he is. He pitches above his age. So again, we're going to have to. We're used to playing in low-scoring games because we don't. Sometimes we don't score a lot of runs. So he's probably going to keep the score down. Our pitching staff's going to have to keep the score down too. And then from there, work to try to get timely hitting. You can't go in there trying to believe you're going to get 15 or 20 hits. I'd love to get them, but he's going to bring the score down, probably the hits down, kind of like a regional or a super regional. So now you have to start to match that on the defensive side of the ball and on your pitching staff side. So that's what we're going to have to do, is match him.
You and Gunnar have had two pretty memorable head-to-head matchups. As a coach, when you're kind of, is this the kind of game you like to coach in with two really good pitchers kind of game?
Well, this like I told the players, this is what you live for. I mean, as a coach or as a player, and if not, then you need to, go home. This is, trying to get past App State and get past Houston. We can't look ahead, but this is what you want. I mean, you want big atmospheres, like Coach said earlier. His girls, they want to be in that stage. I mean, that's what you work for. I mean, 76% of people are mediocre and okay with being mediocre. I don't want to be that, and I don't want to be around people that want to be that. And this is a chance for you to get in an arena and really compete, because everything's against you. I mean, their record's better than us. They're in first place. They got their fans. We at their place. They've got very good pitching that can dominate you. What else do you want? I mean, if you're going to get together as a team and holler Omaha, then by God, why would this atmosphere be too tough? How are you going to get to Omaha? You're going to back your way into there? Luck your way in? You got to go throw down. So and that's what this is. I love weekends like this, because again, that's when you find out, the people that want to step up. You might have some people that can get to another gear, but until you get into this atmosphere, they don't shift. They don't get in there yet. So hopefully we can do that. But we got to be careful. We got a game on Wednesday. We got to take care of that, and then from that, get our refocus back on Thursday. Get down there and have a good practice. Hopefully we can, the time of our games work out right, where we can walk over and watch our girls and support them. And then maybe if Lexi is back, I can maybe borrow her for one night, maybe stick her in the middle of my order, and score some runs. But no, it's going to be a good weekend. We just can't look past Wednesday. But these are the weekends I enjoy the most. I enjoy the underdog role. I enjoy being, doing something that we can't do, or being in an environment that's against you. I love that. I personally, we went to South Carolina and they were 50-6 and dumped us on Friday. How much worse of an environment you can be in, and then to leave there and watch that crowd be so quiet. There's no better feeling than that. At all.
Speaking of Wednesday's game, just how much do the guys hunger for the weekend? How much can that play into your favor on Wednesday? If they're already fired up and just hoping to play their best baseball.
Well, that comes from internal leadership. We've talked to our leaders already about, staying focused and enjoying your day off Monday and, get away from the game, come back Tuesday and it's work, and get ready for Wednesday and understand why we're going down there. I mean, we're going down there to hopefully continue to get better on the road, continue to get another crowd that'll be against us, continue to learn how to play with lack of adrenaline. We won't have it. They will. We're going to have to muster it because these crowds will be against you. So it's almost like a live practice. I mean, in a sense, we get to go down to another stadium that we've played well in it. We've won a regional there, so more than one regional there. So that's good for us. But we want to go in there and understand why we're going there. This is trying to build our RPI, as Coach said. Going to a tournament and having to win a tournament's not the easiest thing in the world to do, man. To try, somebody can be good over 2 to 3 days that was not good all year, and then you got some teams that can be good all year, and all of a sudden they're not good for 2 or 3 days, and you get done in. So we want to be in the field of 64. I told you before, I either have a good Memorial Day or a bad one. Colleen knows that. My family knows that. If it's not good, you can't hang around me on that Monday. I mean, it takes me a while to get over not seeing my name come up on TV. So when you get in that field of 64, anything can happen. I mean, Fresno State showed that. They limped into their conference tournament, limped into the 64, and then got hot and won a national championship. So, but if you're not in the 64, you can get hot all you want. I mean, there's nothing going to happen. You're not in it. So you got in it. You got to be in it to win it, and you want to protect yourself as much as you can. And for us, Wednesday's good for our RPI. It's another road RPI win. It can be a win on the road, which is what we gotta continue to get good at, because we're going to have to be good on the road this weekend.
What do you think is the difference between what you have now and the Omaha quality team?
Well, the Omaha team they were a big physical hitting team, like the 43 and 58 win team I had, but yet they still could bunt, they still could hit and run. They did a lot of things to you. They didn't rely on just one thing. It's the same thing like our 58 win team. A lot of people looked at the slugging percentage. We're accused of being on steroids. We're accused of rolling our bats. It was on the scouting reports. They're not accusing us of being on steroids now and rolling our bats. But why? What's changed? I mean, don't you think I would have kept rolling the bats? I mean, but it was we had physical power, but yet we had a good bunting team too, and they could shorten and lengthen the field. Both those teams. The Omaha team, I think, led all the teams that year in the College World Series in home runs, but yet we had to call them in from time to time to tell them to stop drag bunting. I mean, to tell them to stop bunting. They enjoyed bunting. They enjoyed putting pressure on the defense. And, that's what spun the game out of control yesterday, was the ability to bunt. And we're not a big power hitting team, and we're not that good of a bunting team. So we have to flip this, and we have to pitch and play defense. Is what we have to do, and we cannot let games get away from us with the pitching staff. We just can't. That's what happened to us Saturday. Even though we only scored 1 run, I still think we were in a winnable ball game. I still think I could have won that ball game if our bullpen would have done their job. I still think we could have came back and won 3-2 in my heart, but we let the game get away from us in the bullpen, and we just can't do that. I don't really complain about the hitting as much as because I have the pitchers, and it's our job to hold the score down. And I told Nick Lee when he gave up the first home run in the leadoff game on Sunday, now what you've got to do is your mindset's got to be, if you lose 1-0. Just lose 1-0. Don't wait around for runs. Well, we came back and answered it, got 1-1, but we didn't score again until the 7th, I think, 7th, the 8th. So we had the bullpen, the pitching staff had to take over from there, and that's not always easy pitching like that. Knowing that, you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room, but we have to understand where we're at. And but the Omaha team was a lot like the 58 win team. Is they had power and they could bunt too, so they could shorten and lengthen the field. Sometimes we have trouble shortening and lengthening the field. Now, in the eighth, we did a good job of shortening the field on them. But if you, again, look back at the 58-win team, a lot of people looked at their hitting and their slugging and, we're in the top 5 in the country in slugging percentage and runs scored and all that, but we had over 110, 115 bunt base hits. You don't see that a lot off of a team that's in the top 5 in the country in slugging and hitting and home runs. And that's what makes it so hard to play defense against a team like that. Because do you shorten the field because they can lengthen it? Do you deepen up because of their power, and then now they start to shorten the field on you? And Coach Deggs had a team, and Coach Semino had a team at the time as a third base hitting coach. It was like a Nintendo game. I mean, he could just shorten the field, lengthen the field. You backed up, he shortened it. You came in, he lengthened it. I mean, it's like playing a video game, With us right now, when we go cold, it's so tough for JT because he doesn't have a lot of weapons. You'd love to start bunting, but we're not that good of a bunting team. So he gets stuck sometimes, and whereas, Semino could steal home. I mean, we did it in Omaha, I mean, he could do so many things. We bunted that last inning, push bunted to beat South Carolina. I mean, he had so many weapons. We had to pinch squeeze yesterday. We had to get a guy off the bench because the guy that showed up at the plate at the time was not a good bunter. So we had to pinch squeeze a guy with a bad hand because he's a good bunter. So, but you got to do what you got to do to win. And but that's the biggest differences that we have between those two.
What's the status on Joe? You think he's going to be good?
Yeah, I mean, he still can play. He literally could play. But it's what percentage would he be at to swing the bat? Defensively, he's fine. And we're trying to work through what Coach is trying to work through, We did that in 2000 to get to Omaha. We had a pulled hamstring by one of our best players, Nathan Nelson. And we sparingly played him right at the end to keep that leg good because we thought we had a chance to get to Omaha, and we did, and he really helped us. So we're trying to do with Joe is trying to just be smart about it, and trying to give him every chance he has to be as good as he can against South Alabama this weekend.
At the start of the season in South Alabama and the kind of road you guys had to do at the beginning of the year, you had to play a little bit of catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you can sell to your team though, that you can still control your destiny to go out and take care of?
Yeah, I mean, there's, we've gotten better as the season wore on the road, so that definitely is going to help us. But once you get down to this point, it just, you got to take your swing wherever it's at. You got to take, wherever you're at, and you just got to go throw down. I mean, that's guys or girls that are mentally tough. Coach can tell you this, or Coach Hudd, any of the coaches that just coach. Mentally tough athletes do one thing. They go throw down with what they have. So if they got 76% on Friday night, they throw down with all 76. They show back up Saturday and they got 56%. They throw down with all 56. Weak players have to feel good to be good. And the great ones don't. Very rarely does a big league pitcher or Pujols take the field feeling good. They just don't. But what's important about what the great athletes do, I find, it's not how they feel, it's how they act. Michael Jordan was running fever one night and scored, I think, 50 points. It wasn't important how he felt, it was how he acted. And that's what the great do. And that's what you have to do when you get down to these type of moments. You can't be worried about where your little toe's landing or if your swing's off a millisecond. I mean, what you got to worry about now is just throwing down what you got, whatever that is. That's what I like about Joe. Wherever he's going to be, he's going to tape it up and he's going to throw down. That's what I like about Joe. And I think that's why he's a good player, is he doesn't come up to you and go, Coach, you know something, I didn't drink my muscle milk this morning, so I don't know if I'm going to be really good tonight. I lost my foam roller, and I don't know if I can roll out my hamstrings. So I've played with those kind of guys too. They have to have everything, the stars align for them to be successful. The great ones don't. They go throw down what they have. And Joe will do it. In fact, Joe will go out there. Joe will play if we ask him right now, and I'm sure Lexi will too. But that's what you also have to watch out with the great ones too, is they'll duct tape that and go play. I mean, they don't care. But you also have to sometimes, we as coaches, sometimes have to save the ones that have that high threshold of pain. We got to save them from them. And that's kind of what we're doing with Joe right now. We're trying to save Joe from Joe because he'll go out there and play. So right now he's just a defensive replacement, and because we knew he was going to come in defensively, and we knew Alex was not that good of a bunter, and we had to squeeze right there. I mean, there's only one way we were going to win right there. We had to squeeze. And so we just made sure we put in a guy that was one of our best bunters.
Is anything different in Edmond on Friday night, and how important was him to get that outing in order to get back to sort of a regular?
Well, we needed him to get some work in, to face live hitters. You can throw him in bullpens all you want, but you can hang a curveball in the bullpen that doesn't go in the trees. But you hang it out there, it does. So you want him to be out there where failure can happen. And so we wanted him to go work. We had him on a pitch limit, and he threw really, really well. Really well. So that was good for him and good for us. To keep his rhythm, going into his next start.
You said you might bullpen it behind Evan. Do you mean there's a possibility he has a shortened start this weekend that
Yeah.
he's available out of bullpen?
No doubt, no doubt. Yep, because this weekend is for all the marbles. So we want to maybe try to put another arm with us. Yep.
Any more questions?
Thurman's caught every single inning y'all played this year.
Mhm.
You don't really, especially nowadays, you don't really see that a lot out of catchers. For him to just kind of tough it out the way he has all year, I mean, how important has that been for you guys?
It's been good, I mean, you knocked on my door and said you want to be an everyday player. So you know what? You're an everyday player. They always want to knock on my door and they want to play every day. So a lot of them regret knocking on the door. But, again, the big leagues, those guys catch 140, 150 games. So, again, I think it's in your mind. I mean, I think if you start telling him he's tired, I think he's going to be tired. I think if you start telling him he's lethargic, he's going to be lethargic. We don't talk to him that way. There's nothing else we really can do, so why discuss it? And we build in his rest. Like today he'll do nothing. Tomorrow he'll do nothing at practice. I mean, we pull back on all his rest. He catches no bullpens. He hasn't caught a bullpen this year. We pay managers, catchers that usually don't make walk-on tryouts or something. We keep them in our bullpen, so it saves the wear and tear on him. So he's not catching any bullpens at all. So he's healthy as he can be, but it's been a big plus because, boy, you talk about change. Coach hadn't really missed a beat flipping catchers, but boy, it can catch you, especially where we are, because first we're injured behind him, but we're also young behind him. Next year in the recruiting cycle, the way we've got it set up, we're gonna be okay. But for right now, he has to stay healthy, and he's been able to do that. And he's done that the year before too, which is good. He's got that kind of body to stay healthy. And again, we take a lot of precautions. I mean, he's in the cold tub. I mean, he really takes care of his body, and we really rest him really well. He won't do much Thursday at the South Isle practice. And we've been very fortunate too. Is the weather's been very good. We did run into a doubleheader, but the weather was good and the temperatures were cool. So we've been fortunate. So hopefully, he can finish this up. There'll be no way a pro scout can wonder if he's durable or not. That's for sure. Any other questions you might have? Yeah.
With all the pressure that we talked about, the RBI game against Houston, you're playing South Alabama over the weekend, a lot of pressure on your pitchers, and you have to pitch and play defense. Do you think that's probably the biggest trade-off
Yeah, and you used the word pressure. I didn't. We don't look at it as pressure. We look at it as our job. There's a difference when something's your job. When you can't do something and you're supposed to do it, that's pressure. We're capable of doing it, and we need to do it. They're taught in the classroom in the fall over 20-something hours that, don't worry about runs. That's not your job as a pitcher. Don't come in and holler at the hitters to hit, or you'll be finished. I mean, don't look around. Don't look at the scoreboard. You got one job to do. Go out there and give us a chance to win. And that's our job as a pitching staff, and we'll continue to do that. Just like in the game we lost 2-1, I'm not going to blame it on the hitters because we didn't hit. If we don't mismanage the 7th inning out of the bullpen, I think we can win that game. So what if you only gave me 2 runs? That's our job to go manage the game with 2 runs. The pitchers have a mindset to go take care of their job, and not be run beggars. I'd love to pitch behind his girls with that 12, 13 run lead every day, but that's not realistic. It's not going to always happen that way. It's going to be the same thing with them. When they're going to get down to the nitty gritty, just like us, the score is probably going to come down. I mean, great pitchers are going to bring the score down, okay? Hill's going to probably bring the score down on Friday night, all right? So I tell you what would be pressure is if we needed to score 12 runs to beat him. That would be pressure, okay? What Gunner's got to do for us is like what we did in the regional when the guy was throwing a no-no against us. I mean, he's throwing a no-hitter against us, and we still beat him by squeezing on him. Alabama brought a guy in here one night throwing 98. I knew we probably weren't going to hit that guy. We didn't. So we matched him on the mound with Austin. Austin threw a shutout, and we double squeezed. So the pitchers have to have that mindset. They have to understand that if you're looking for, 10 runs on Friday night against South Alabama, then don't pitch. Don't pitch. Because the odds are, Gunner, you're not going to get that. Get your one and go to work. So that's kind of the way we want our pitchers' mentality, is not to look left and right and cry about not having no runs. Go man up on the mound. You're the most important guy out there. You wouldn't be 10 inches higher than everybody else. So go out there and take care of your business.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.